If you've driven through downtown Brampton lately, you know it feels rough. Lanes closed, fences everywhere, sidewalks ripped up. It looks like downtown is falling apart. But it's actually the start of a complete rebuild of the core that, in a few years, is going to feel like a completely different city. What is up, beautiful people? My name is Matt Moy, a full-time real estate agent here in the Greater Toronto area, and I've been watching this very closely for my own clients. Now, in this video, we're going to be walking through what's happening with Riverwalk, the new public squares, the Main Street streetscape, the Center for Innovation, the Shoppers World Plan, and how it all ties into rental supply and more options for regular people, not just luxury condos. And in addition, I'll show you a real example of a new Brampton rental community I've personally leased units in, so you can see what this change actually looks like on the ground. Quick note, before we dive in, if you're watching this because you're trying to figure out whether to buy, sell, or even just rent in Brampton while all of this is going on, I do a free 15-minute discovery call. We'll look at your situation, your budget, and talk through whether it makes sense to be near all of this construction, if it makes sense to avoid it, or position yourself to benefit from it. There's a link in the description down below, and you can also scan the QR code right here on the screen to book a time that works for you. No pressure, no sales pitch, just straight answers. All right, let's start with the project that makes everything else possible. Downtown Brampton has been held back for decades by one simple thing most people don't think about. It sits in a floodplain. Because of the way the Etobicoke Creek runs through downtown, a big chunk of the core is technically at risk in a major storm. That floodplain label has basically frozen serious development for years. You can't just throw up tall buildings where there's a flood risk. Riverwalk is the fix for that. The city has now kicked off phase 1 of the Downtown Brampton Flood Protection Project. Early site work started in late 2025, and full construction of the flood project is scheduled to run from the early 2026 through spring of 2028. What are they actually doing? They're deepening and widening the Etobicoke Creek through downtown. They're rebuilding bridges and related infrastructure and designing a system so that it can actually handle storms on the scale of Hurricane Hazel and beyond. Once it's in place, the system is expected to exceed Ontario's regulatory flood standards and protect downtown from the kind of flooding Brampton saw in the late 1940s. This isn't cheap. Ottawa is putting in more than $38.8 million. Ontario is putting in almost $50 million, and the city and the TRCA are also contributing. Why does that matter for you? Because once this is done, it unlocks room for about 17,700 new residents, and around downtown, 23,800 jobs and millions of square feet of new residential, retail, and commercial space. All of that comes from this one project. So when you see the big dig happening along the creek over the next couple of years, that's not just one more construction project. That's the piece that finally allows taller buildings, more housing, and more jobs in the core. Solving the flood problems just makes building possible. It doesn't automatically make downtown somewhere you'd want to hang out. That's where the flower squares come in. Kenwillen Square in front of City Hall and the Garden Square by the Rose Theatre. The city ran an international design competition and selected a concept called the Flower Squares, led by Canadian firm GH3 with MandaWorks. Here's the simple version of what's coming. Kenwillen Square becomes a proper civic park in front of City Hall with a shimmer stage and an integrated digital screen for events and landscape berms and trees forming a natural amphitheater for concerts and ceremonies. Garden Square stays the busy living room of downtown, but it gets the Rosette Ring, which is a suspended circular LED screen as a landmark, plus better seating, terraces, and space for events, markets, and movie nights. The design is all about year-round use, not just summer. As of January of 2026, the design is locked in, and the city shows construction on Kenwillen Square expected to begin in the second quarter of 2026, with the Garden Square staged and coordinated with the rest of the downtown projects to manage disruption. So if you're downtown this year and you see more fencing going up around City Hall, that's the Flower Square starting to turn from drawings into real space. Next piece is just the basic experience of being downtown, the streets and buildings you actually use. The city started a full streetscape upgrade along Main and Queen Street back in 2024. Work runs in phases from 2024 to 2027 with lane reductions, sidewalk work, and new granite paving and curbs. The big changes are patterned granite intersections, upgraded sidewalks, lighting, street furniture and landscaping, and a goal of making it more walkable and safer, while keeping access to the local businesses. You're already seeing this in early 2026. Construction updates, winter shutdowns, then things starting back up as the weather improves. So yes, it's annoying today, but this is what upgrades look like in real time. Right by the GO station, the Center for Innovation is another key piece. It's designed as a 9-story building, about 256,000 square feet, with a new central library, digital creation labs, co-working and learning spaces, and areas for post-secondary and community partners. It's meant to anchor Brampton's innovation district and bring education and entrepreneurship right into the core. In terms of timing, the city and the downtown BIA announced that the Nelson Square parking garage and the George Street surface lot would be closed and be demolished starting September 1st, 2025 to clear the site for the CFI. On the city's project page, they show negotiations with a preferred partner ongoing and list early 2026 as the period when the parking facilities would be transformed, with more detailed dates to be announced. What that means for you is that the parking has shifted. Demolition and site prep are underway, and the actual building would rise over the next few years, not months. So if you're buying or renting nearby, you should expect a few years of construction. Then a serious amenity next door once it's done. A lot of people hear revitalization and think, okay, that just means more expensive condos. So let me show you one piece of this that directly touches rental housing. In November of 2025, Luna's pension fund and Fengate broke ground on Church and Main, a 35-story, 400-unit purpose-built rental community at Church and Main, right in the urban core across the Brampton Go Hub. It's designed as long-term rentals, not condos, with a mix of studios, 1, 2, and 3-bedroom units aimed at new Canadians, students, young professionals, and families, fully transit connected and targeting first residents in 2029. This is exactly the kind of product we need more of. Earlier in 2025, the Manit Urban Rentals on the Park project reached around 90% occupancy. I've had the pleasure of leasing several units in the Manit myself. It's at 100 Manit Crescent beside Koretz Park in a 9-story building with about 145 larger than average suites and townhomes. It has modern amenities, in-suite laundry, a gym, and you're minutes from the Zoom Transit and a short trip to the Brampton Go and downtown area. From the ground, what I'm seeing is real families moving in, newcomers using it as their first landing spot in Canada, and people who are priced out of buying but still want a clean, modern building in a good location. So when you hear about Riverwalk unlocking downtown, or you see all of this disruption, keep this in mind. It's not only about glass towers to sell. It also helps justify more purpose-built rentals like Church and Main and more communities like the Manit. One of the biggest transformations you're going to see is at Shoppers World at Steeles and Main. The mall has already been rezoned for a massive master plan community. The plan calls for 23 buildings, height stepping up to 28 stories along the south side, around 4,900 residential units, a bigger Canef Park, and tens of thousands of square meters of commercial space and new public streets. All of that is wrapped around the Brampton Gateway Terminal and her Ontario LRT terminus, making it a full transit-oriented hub. Phase 1A alone is planned to add about 800 units in 2 landmark towers, with site plans review underway. Now, this is not a 2026 story, it's a multi-decade build-out, but it tells you the direction the city is going in. More height, more mixed use, more transit-first communities, and thousands of new units over time, which is crucial for affordability. We're in January of 2026, so what do you do with all of this information? If you're renting, new buildings like the Manit are already open and still leasing. In some cases, you'll see move-in incentives because they want to stabilize occupancy. Church and Main is earlier in the cycle, so you're not moving in tomorrow, but you can keep it on your radar if you want to be downtown in a few years in a purpose-built rental. If you're okay living around construction for a while, positioning yourself near these projects can mean better transit access and long-term upside in the neighborhood. If you're buying to live in, ask yourself how you feel about living with construction for the next 3 to 5 years, and whether you're planning to stay long enough to see the benefits. If you want peace and quiet now, there are other parts of Brampton that are more finished with less disruption. If you're thinking long-term and you're okay with some noise and some dust, buying near these projects can put you in front of a lot of future resale value. Just don't assume prices will automatically drop because more supply is coming. If you're investing, Riverwalk unlocking 17,700 new residents sounds great, but it also means more competition over time if you're renting out condos. Purpose-built rentals like the Manit and Church and Main are adding stock that doesn't rely on individual investors. At the same time, being close to major public investments like Riverwalk and the CFI is still a big plus. Tenants like new streets, transit, parks, and libraries. That helps your long-term occupancy and resale. So when you see downtown Brampton under construction in 2026, here's what's actually happening. Riverwalk is finally fixing the floodplain problem and unlocking a lot of land. The Flower Squares will turn City Hall and Garden Square into proper gathering places. Main and Queen are getting a full streetscape upgrade. The Center for Innovation is moving ahead and will bring a major new library and learning hub to the core. Shoppers World and other sites are set up to add thousands of homes over the next couple of decades. And projects like the Manit and Church and Main show that it's not just condos. We're seeing real transit-connected rental communities come to life. This mess that you see today is just a phase. The real question is, how do you position yourself for the Brampton that's coming in the 2030s and beyond? Now, I'd love to hear from you. What part of this transformation are you most excited about? Riverwalk, the Flower Squares, which one? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to stay on top with what's being built where and how it affects prices, rents, and your options, go ahead and subscribe. If you're trying to zoom out and understand the bigger picture of what's happening in Brampton overall, not just downtown, check out this one right here. I break down how all of these moving pieces fit together so you can plan your next move with a lot more confidence.